And now we're in the after show.
Yes. The fun part where we get to back and forth.
I know. Someone once said to me, it looks just like the regular show. Yes.
No, but hopefully it's more of a dialogue,
Yeah, really.
Instead of me doing most of the talking.
Well, you're the interesting one.
I want you to do the talking. I want to ask the questions.
Oh my gosh. What questions could you possibly have for me?
2 questions. Where are you going to be in 5 years?
God help me. Who knows? We'll talk about that after the after show. Okay. I have a question for you. Hey, what's the best startup you ever worked on? What's the most interesting startup?
Oh, is it a startup that I founded or anybody founded?
Doesn't matter. It's up to you.
Hundreds of startups. So let me tell you one. So I work with lots and lots of startups. So many of them are interesting. So I was in Shanghai recently, and I worked with a startup that is doing VR games, but in physical spaces.
What?
You're like in a physical room with everybody else. And when if I'm in the room with you, I would see you in the position you're actually in the room. Yet we would be walking through another world together. So we could be in a room together, walking through another world together, interacting, battling, discovering, unlocking treasures and all of this.
So cool.
Yeah, and they develop all the technology. They're called Space Max. They're a Chinese startup. They developed all the technology. So for me, that's a great experience, right? It's something I'd never tried. I was in a room with a group of people. We're all battling monsters together. We're shouting at each other in real time, right? Yet we all had these VR units on. So that was really cool. I love it. And these guys are passionate. They're doing it because they love it. Like they're gamers, they love it. It's something they wanted. And they're putting them up in shopping malls all around China and eventually maybe all around the world and other theme parks and locations like that where you would do this sort of thing.
How fun is that?
Yeah, so those parts of my job are really fun. Whenever I work with a startup where I can learn something or experience something that I otherwise wouldn't have known, or wouldn't have experienced, to me, that's like a gem. That's why I do.
That's exactly how I feel about coaching. I learned so much about the world and things I never would have experienced otherwise.
Right, and you learn all about their business and all about their lives and, their struggles and their successes. Yeah, it's great.
New industries that you didn't even know were a thing.
Yeah, I know. Every day, I'm meeting, several years ago, I was with this startup that was doing the biome, the human bacteria in the gut.
Yes.
And at that time, several years ago, I had never, thought about it. I never thought about they're good bacteria in my gut that, it wasn't, now it's a hot topic, but this was, right before it became big. And now the startup is growing. They're called Ubiome. They're doing really well.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah. But, this was when they were first raising money. And it was a light bulb went off in my head. And I was like, this is a huge new area. And they explained to me how 80% of our body, I don't know if that's the exact number, is bacteria. And I was like, that's strange.
Yeah, weird.
And then it made me feel really bad about taking antibiotics because I was like, oh my God, I'm killing off 80% of my body.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of it is good.
Oh my gosh. What about a startup that you thought should have been really successful, but wasn't? Just a great idea that just somehow didn't make it.
There are so many of these. There are so many startups that I had I fell in love with them at the beginning, and part of it is you connect with the team and everything else. That you think they're going to be big, and then it just doesn't work. So there was a startup called Hashplay from Germany. Great team, amazing guys. These guys, when I met them, I was like, when I say they're good, the team, go with the team. Yeah. I was like, these guys are going to make it no matter what.
Wow.
And they had an idea. They're going to do Twitch is really popular for gamers.
Yeah.
They're going to do Twitch for VR. But you know, the VR market kind of didn't take off in a big way.
Yeah.
So their dreams got crushed.
Oh.
But they, like I said, the team was amazing. They went on and they built this visualization software that is being used by like the city of Berlin and all these big corporations all around the world to visualize complex problems and be able to see like the flow of data, the flow of all this information, like smart cities, all of this in a very visual way, taking the technologies they had been working on for VR and applying them to a different problem. And so even though their initial idea, I was like totally bought in that because of the team it would work. You know, it doesn't matter. It didn't work, right? It didn't work. But the team was incredible. And then they went on and now they have a thriving business.
That's great. That's good to hear. Well, I love stories like that. I love stories like all this. It's funny because I go on Kickstarter every once in a while and I look at the campaigns and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's amazing. Like everything amazes me. I'm like, how did they even think of that? Yeah, everything. I actually am not allowed to go to Kickstarter most of the time.
Really? Are you not? Are you Kickstarter junkie?
I could be. I have to be careful. I
love it too. It is. It's a big deal.
Although I have a client who's about to launch on Kickstarter, so I can't be too much of a...
Okay, well, you have to support your client.
Yeah, that's it. I have to support her. What can I do? Oh my gosh, thank you for being on this show. Will you stay on the line for a minute? We're gonna sign off with the after show, and then and me, we're gonna have a little after show chat.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to ask you something. All right, so we're done with the after show now. So we'll send you links for the show and all that. So, okay. All right, audience, we're going into a private conversation now that you can't hear. So thanks for enjoying the
I can say anything.
All right, off recording.